Hey there, fundraisers. It's Fundraiser Chad with Productive Fundraising, coming at you for a quick fundraising tip this week. This week, we're not necessarily talking fundraising specific, but we're going to talk about how do we do fundraising better. And I want to address two things. Those things we forget to do, and then those things we don't like to do. But we know we need to do both of them to be effective fundraisers. So let's first talk about the things we forget. How are we going to remember to do them? Well, one of my favorite things to do is to set up a trigger. Something that reminds us whenever we do that. So putting some kind of note, in a place where we go when we see it, a pop-up in our computer, a calendar reminder, these are all triggers. But we can do other things too. One of my big problems was remembering to write thank you notes when I meet with somebody, when I had a donor visit, meeting with a new potential sponsor, something like that. So eventually I figured out my trigger is I need to put the note on my car seat, right in my car, so when I come back out from the meeting, I see the thank you note right away. It's already pulled out. I don't have to go through that effort. And I had a preparation checklist for donor visits, and on there in the bottom was get a thank you note out and lay it on your car seat when you get to your car. It was the last item. Eventually, I didn't need the checklist. It just became automatic, but that's what we're doing. We're programming those habits. So set triggers for those things that you forget. Also, the things you don't like, right? There are some things we just have to do. We don't like it. For me, it was always writing a big, long report, like the development report, 3 to 5 pages that goes to the committee or the board. I hated that. I still hate writing reports. I don't really do development audits because that involves writing a 10 to 15 page report about the fundraising in your operation. So I try to avoid it, but when I still have to do it, I set up a reward. Right? I need to motivate myself to get through there. What can that be? It could be going to a restaurant, at lunch, calling a friend, whatever it is, but some kind of reward, and especially a reward on work time. Hopefully you have the flexibility to be able to do that every once in a while. Another great one for me was being able to get something that, wasn't a budget breaker, but something that I maybe wouldn't just buy out of the blue. So something a little rewarding there. So for me, it's always a book, love the books. And I'm the cook in our family, so like a cookbook. I don't buy cookbooks. I'll usually get them from the library or something like that. But every once in a while, it's just nice to touch the book. And, from one of my favorite chefs. So this is Seasoned with Authority by Mark Murphy. Even this, I'm not going to link this up, this is out of print and expensive, but yeah, I've rewarded myself with cookbooks. But even like a book I'm just excited about. What am I currently reading? I'm currently reading this book called Energize by Dr. Michael Bruce. And this is taking, he came out with a book a couple years ago talking about chronotypes. So how are you when is your high energy time of day? And what should you do to be effective? He's now pairing that with research on your body type, your body shape, and how that impacts it with another researcher. So interesting. I don't know if I'm going to fully buy in, but I'll link that one up. That one's affordable, not this thing, but you can find this if you want to. So what's your reward? It doesn't have to be a book. It can be anything. But when that big project comes that you keep putting off, get it done, give yourself a reward, and go from there. So these are productivity tips this week. I'll link up my productivity webinar if you want a full hour of these kind of great tips to energize you, deal with your time, help you be a more efficient fundraiser. You can check that out. And as I said, we'll link up that book as well. And fundraisers, it's time to get back to it. So until next week, I'm Fundraiser Chad, and I'll see you then. Happy fundraising.